They had laid siege to entire cities with these machines, shattered enemy morale by turning the air into a storm of spears and iron, and now those deadly machines were being aimed right at the SEALs and their ruined fort. Harper clenched his jaw. They had a little time. The Legion was advancing. Smitty was low on ammo. The ballistas were taking aim, and soon the sky would be filled with death. But the SEALs had another trick up their sleeve. Boomer's C4 charge, a massive block of plastic explosive carefully hidden beneath a discarded backpack at their previous firing position. It was primed and waiting. Boomer crouched behind cover, his detonator in hand. His eyes locked on the Roman officers gathering near the abandoned ridge. They had seen the destruction, the strange weapons, the fire, and the smoke. Their curiosity got the better of them. A legate knelt down to inspect the bag, gesturing for his tribunes to take a closer look. That's when Boomer grinned. He pressed the trigger. A blinding explosion ripped through the battlefield, erupting like a volcanic shockwave. The ridgeline disintegrated in a flash of fire and rock as Roman limbs launched into the sky. Flaming debris rained down, screams piercing through the dust cloud as high-ranking officers and their orderlies were ripped apart mid-command. The Legion faltered for the first time, and the SEALs smiled. But there were still too many. The reality was undeniable. This was never going to be a fair fight in the long run. A single SEAL squad, no matter how lethal, could only hold out for so long against thousands. The Legion was built for endurance, a relentless war machine designed to grind down enemies through sheer attrition. Sustained by foraging, supply lines, and ironclad organization, the SEALs were trained for surgical strikes, rapid assaults, and swift exfiltration, not a drawn-out war. With limited ammo, no supply chain, and nowhere to retreat, their time was running out. Harper knew it. His men knew it. Every burst of gunfire, every grenade tossed, every squad maneuver was a tick on the clock, winding down to the moment where they'd have to make their move. A strategic withdrawal wasn't defeat, it was survival. And survival was something SEALs excelled at. They would slip into the countryside, vanish into the hills and villages, and regroup. It wouldn't be easy. They were strange men in a strange land. Once the Romans spread word of black-clad warriors wielding thundersticks, it would only be a matter of time before every soldier, every patrol, every citizen was watching for them. But Harper wasn't worried. They'd been ghosts before. They could be ghosts again. Harper was about to give the order to withdraw when he caught a movement on the far horizon, a shimmer of dust and steel, rolling across the plain like a storm front of death. His breath hitched. It only took a few seconds to recognize the shape of the onrushing tide, the glint of lamellar armor, the banners snapping in the wind. The Parthians had arrived. The Roman formation was still reeling from the explosion that had eviscerated its core officers, confusion rippling through their ranks. That was when the first shockwave hit, a wall of thundering hooves, fully armed cataphracts crashing into the exposed Roman flank like a tidal wave of bronze. Spears snapped through chainmail, lances punched through men and out the other side. Horses trampled screaming soldiers under their iron-shod hooves. Then came the second wave. Parthian horse archers swept in, their composite bows snapping with deadly precision as they unleashed clouds of arrows into the chaos. The projectiles found their mark, piercing soft flesh through the gaps in Roman armor. The SEALs' mouths hung agape. They could hardly believe their luck. Harper watched as the battle shifted in real time. The Legion had been distracted, drawn away, and broken by the SEALs' initial assault. In a cruel twist of fate, it had been his team that had unknowingly softened them up for the Parthians. It didn't matter. What mattered was opportunity. "Mount up, we're out of here," Harper yelled. His men didn't take convincing. The DPVs roared to life, kicking up great plumes of dust as the SEALs spun away from their fortified position. Using the chaos below to cover their retreat, Harper threw one last glance over his shoulder. The Legion was collapsing, bodies strewn across the field. Romans fighting desperately to regroup as the Parthians pressed their advantage. And then the SEALs were gone, vanishing into the desert, their black-clad figures swallowed by the dunes, leaving nothing but scattered shell casings and smoldering wreckage in their wake. You ever think about what'll happen when historians find those Roman corpses full of 5.56? Harper laughed as the desert whipped his face. Boomer and Smitty grinned too. Guess we just gave some archaeologists a real bad day. Could the SEALs have won outright? No. A squad versus thousands is unsustainable. The Legion was built for endurance. The SEALs were built for rapid, precise engagements. Could the SEALs survive long term? Doubtful. Their presence would become a myth. Their faces immortalized in rumor. Rome's vast network of spies, scouts, and informants would hunt them down. Unlike the Parthians, American SEALs couldn't simply disappear into the crowd. In the end, the SEALs won the fight, but they couldn't win the war. A modern special operations team, no matter how lethal, is still bound by logistics. History belonged to the armies that could endure, resupply, and outlast. And Rome had plenty of time. Would modern firepower crush ancient strategy, or would the Legion adapt and overwhelm? Let us know in the comments. Now go check out What If a Squad of Navy SEALs Time Traveled to the Revolutionary War, or click on this video instead.